Hey, welcome to the Dr. G Show. This is episode 119, and we're going to talk about eating healthy for Thanksgiving. So as you guys come on, I want you guys, especially you guys are watching it later, post your own recipes that are healthy. Try no wheat, no dairy, or substitute, but we'll talk about more substitutions as we go. But I want to hear what you guys actually do that's healthy for Thanksgiving. And there's Kat, which is so post your stuff, post your comments, questions. There's Emily, and we'll try to touch base on those, or we'll answer them off the air too as we go. Last week we didn't talk about anything, did we? I had a birthday party. I took a week off. But the week before that, we spent a couple weeks talking about sex and intimacy and sex and stuff. So I hope you guys got a lot out of that. I learned a lot, and I drew a lot of pictures that I learned from it too. Hey, Emily. So we have a special guest today. It's Holly Hajaj. No, that's not right. Uh-oh. It's doing it.
Yeah.
Dang it. All right. So if I move my coffee or my teacup up, the screen gets darker. So I gotta do it this way. Okay. So we have a special guest with us, and her name is Cassie with a K.
Yes.
McCabe. McCabe, like McRib. So she's from the long line of Kentucky Fried. No, it'd be McDonald's.
No.
McDonald's family. No. All right.
No, thank you.
McDonald's, McCabe's, the McAndersons, the McRibs. So let me tell you a little bit about Cassie. So she is an integrative nutritional coach, health coach, and one of the nice things that she does is she helps patients figure out recipes and all that too, so that way when we tell patients to kind of like eat a lot healthier and we give them all these food rules, a lot of times they have hard times with recipes, and we need someone there to kind of hold their hand and guide them through the process. Our good friend oh my gosh, Amy Simpson, who was just in here the other day I took a picture with. She's one of my favorite people, but she's doing this kind of thing where she's kind of having help people, like her friends come in and they cook dinner together. And I thought that's so cool, but really it's that old school where we need cooking clubs almost again. But as a guide, as a health coach, so Cassie helps kind of mentor and empower people, and gives them support and guidance to kind of set their goals, figure out why they want to eat that way, what they want to eat, and then how to really create that sustainable change. Mm-hmm. So that way it's not just this new fad or this new gimmick, but really how do you just eat from here on out. And then really to improve health and happiness, because when we talk about food is family, food is relationships, food is emotion. And she'll listen to you, and she works together with you to navigate, and I love this, the contradictory health advice, and explore what works for that person, which again, I'm kind of protocol driven, but there's some tinkering that has to take place that's unique for each person.
Right, everyone's different. We're not made the same.
Right. So she really helps tease that part out, which is really nice. And you're the founder of, say the website? Or the
Live Healthy for You.
Live Healthy for You, mm-hmm. Which on our Facebook promo, it's on there. And so, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I think she's nervous. She knows what happens on these shows. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to not say. So,
interesting.
Holidays are wonderful because they can be fabulous, but most holidays now are starting to become just horrible. People just feel horrible through it. They try to eat for their happiness and kind of work their way through it, but the reality is that holidays bring out more suicide, more depression, and food has a big giant part in that too. Let's see, Linda says that Yeah, she's talking about counting carbs, so yeah, we'll talk about that. So Thanksgiving should be the 3 F's. Not what you're thinking. That's what it ends up being once you talk about politics and stuff. But the 3 F's is family, fun, and food.
Yep.
All right. Unless you're from the South, there's probably an extra one in there. And then what it really becomes is, and I couldn't make these rhyme, or no, alliteration. Where
Yes.
they all start. Yeah. That's pretty big for a Texas kid.
It is.
Alliteration.
I'm
Nice. Indigestion, flatulence, loosening your belts, unbuttoning your buttons, and drowsiness, which is a big part of it too. Hey Roy, how you doing? So really it becomes like Louis C.K. said, we now plan our day. Wait, what did he say? We now change what we do based on what we eat. So people have all these like, man, we're going to be so active, we're going to do all this great stuff, and then they eat, and then they're just like, I just want to like take a nap.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like as a parent, you feel kind of frustrated because you can't play with your kids because you just ate a bunch of crap, and now you feel like crap, and you can't be a good spouse to your husband or wife because you just don't feel like you're there, or you start feeling edgy and moody, and so you start snapping at each other, and then it's like Thanksgiving for food and stuff.
How many take a nap after the meal?
Right. So that's a good question. How many of you guys either want to feel like taking a nap after Thanksgiving or do take a nap? And see, even Deb Anderson said that a group turkey nap.
Yes.
more group. So let's talk about that, because you mentioned that. Do people get tired because of the tryptophan in there? Because tryptophan converts to serotonin, which then should make you happy, but it also converts to melatonin, which helps you go to sleep.
Right.
So then they blame it on melatonin, but melatonin starts your sleep cycle when the sun goes down and the pigment in your eyes changes from the sunset, and then it's actually GABA that puts you to sleep, not melatonin. So is that true?
Yes.
No, is it true that they get sleepy
Oh, no.
from the tryptophan?
No.
Yeah, so that's a big bunch of bullcrap.
Yeah. It's all the carbs.
That's right. So the stuffing makes you tired, not the turkey.
And the mashed potatoes.
And taters. Oh, we're gonna get hate mail now.
Yes.
I think the taters are fine. She's on her own with that. So yeah. So before we start, let's talk about, like, I learned some stuff, and I like sharing stuff that I learned, especially when I get to make jokes about it. So Thanksgiving is not what I learned in school, but so it started in 1621. That was the first Thanksgiving that was celebrated in Plymouth, Massachusetts.
What?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
That doesn't even sound right either. Which was named after the Indian tribe that was close to there too. There was 50. Let's say Congress made it a national holiday in 1941. So we always think we celebrated this forever, but really it was kind of on slightly different days, and they weren't sure why they were celebrating it sometimes. And then finally in 1941, it became an actual holiday. Back in the day, they called it the English Christmas because the Pilgrims did not observe Christmas because they were Calvinists. So, and then the first Thanksgiving, there was 50 people from the Mayflower, so British Calvinists. And there was only 50 because the other 50 died. So, and what's really messed up about this is, so there's 90 natives that attended, so almost there's twice as many Native Americans. They called them Indians because they thought we were in India, and so we just kept that name for some reason. And then all the food was cooked by 4 women. So this is funny. So 4 women cooked for 140 people because they were the only 4 women left after the winter time. The rest of them died. And so this is the best thing. It's just like, hey girls, you know how you survived? Congratulations, you get to cook for 140 people after you get done doing all your chores.
That's terrible.
Uh-huh. I would imagine there was a lot of stabbings going on in the middle of the night. Holy crap, I would not put up for that crap at all. I gotta do all the birthing and cooking and stuff, man.
And the cleaning.
So
what
there
were
was
the guys doing?
47 men sitting around watching football.
They were not
the
watching
Redskins,
football.
Washington Redskins, which is racist, against, is there a Pilgrim team? There's no Pilgrim team. There's no Pilgrim team.
So what do you think they were cooking back then?
So, those poor 4 women had to cook a bunch of wild game and vegetables, and that's it. And they had a drought, but then they had all this rain, so that's why they were celebrating. So they were like, God blessed them to have this rich harvest, and so they shared it with the original Americans, and that allowed them to come over and immigrate over without seeking asylum and go through all that. So they were generous enough to let us come over and stay. And yeah, they just ate like deer and turkeys and quail and just local birds, and then a bunch of vegetables that were in harvest. So,
well, maybe we can think the men were at least out getting the animals.
I bet they weren't. I bet they were like, listen, doll, before you cook for 140 of us, why don't you go ahead and kill that deer and bring it in? Just like the women. So when I grew up, I watched all those nature shows. It was the male lion they always showed, right? Kicking ass. But you know who does most of the killing and feeding the family?
The female.
The females. The men are laying around doing nothing and just sporting that nice little fur, right? And then the women are the ones actually going out and killing all the animals. And then once in a while, if the hyenas get a little crazy, then the big male lion will come out and like strut around and chase them off. But otherwise, it was women doing all the killing for the lions. So they probably did it in Americas too.
That's why women are the best.
Future's female. Men are dicking around playing video games, and we're going to quickly be replaced. So there is now a species of lizards in Arizona that there is only females, and they're thriving. No males. None.
You would know that.
Do you know that?
No.
That's crazy. That's in America. So if the population goes down, the species have the ability to epigenetically change to survive to where women can self-inseminate, right? But women only have XX chromosomes, so they can't make a Y chromosome, so they can only produce women, because men are the ones that determine, men are the only ones that can make boys. So all the men died off, and they're thriving. So you guys better start taking care of business and making yourself useful around the house, because
Yes.
you're disappearing. Okay, so one of the coolest things is, a couple facts here, is one, the buckle in the hat, it wasn't real. All that stuff when I was a kid, it's a lie. They taught us a lie, and they made us dress like a lie. I don't know about the buckle shoes, but the buckle hat's not real.
Lizards and females. That's what Shelley walked in on.
We never go off topic in this discussion. Okay, so listen to these kids' names. This is crazy. So we said there was about 47 people that survived, 4 women, and there was about, I think it was 27 kids, right? Oh, yeah, the other thing is, to create a population, those 4 women have to breed the rest of the people.
Well, sounds like they'll be able to. If the lizards can do it.
That's right. So, these are some of these kids' names. And I kid you not, these are real. I got it off the internet, so it has to be real. The first one I love, because it's Love. One of the kids' name was Love. The other was Wrestling. And their last name was Brewster. So, obviously, he's the one that brews the beer. He's a brewster. And the guy that makes the beer named his kids Love Wrestling. Isn't that crazy?
It's terrible.
And then there's one kid named Resolved. I bet that kid was stubborn as hell. And I'm pretty sure nobody had to like guess what that kid's name was. It's like, ugh, there's Resolved. And then Peregrine, which is interesting because it's a hawk. They named a kid after a hawk, so that's interesting. And then Desire Mentor. What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I desire Mentor. They named their kid Desire. Pretty sure that was one of the dudes that didn't have a wife left after the wintertime. Well, wait, how'd they have the baby? Dang it. It didn't work. Then Demarius, which is actually from the Bible. And Oceanus. I'm pretty sure they were conceived on the ocean. Mm-hmm. Oceanus. And then Humility, Cooper. And then Constance, which I only think that's cool because Connie's name is Constance, so who does Retreat to Joy. So, that's our backstory of Thanksgiving. Then, we have our statistics, which are horrifying. Mm-hmm. And how many calories do you think the average American eats with just dinner on Thanksgiving? How many calories? Is it 1,000, which is about your daily calories, 2,000, which is American, 3,000, which is Midwestern American, or for a whole day, or 4,000 or 5,000 calories in a whole day?
In one day.
Now, this doesn't seem like such a big deal because, like, an Awesome Blossom.
Yes.
At Applebee's is only 2,200 calories, so...
There you go. That's your full meal.
So Linda guessed 2,500, so that's pretty close. Mm-hmm. You're halfway there. That's basically an Awesome Blossom at Applebee's. That's an appetizer at Applebee's now.
Yes. It's crazy.
Or the onion rings, the stack of onion rings at Red Robin's is like 2,100 calories.
Mm-hmm. And then you get a burger and fries and...
Mm-hmm. So it seems like a lot of food. Well, okay, so Linda, 8,000 wasn't even one of the questions. So it's in between there. So it ends up being 4,500 calories. Now, the reason this is important is it takes 5,000 calories to make an actual pound of weight change. So for years, it took an American, a whole year to gain 1 pound. Most Americans were gaining 1 pound per year. And then we got better at gaining weight. So now just Thanksgiving dinner, not breakfast, lunch, the whole day, not the leftovers, but just dinner alone is 4,500 calories, which is almost 1 pound. So the average American now gains 1 pound just on Thanksgiving dinner. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Or it's a hell of a good accomplishment. Yeah?
Okay.
Take that, anorexia. And then the fat consumption is about 229 grams, which is about 77 is the recommendation for all day. So people's gallbladders are just like exploding because of this. And then this is crazy. The average time that food should take in your tummy is about 1 to 2 hours, right? Or no, 1 to 4. Is that right? 1 to 4? Yeah, 1 to 3 hours. That's about right. 1 to 4 is 2. So 1 to 3 hours in your stomach. And really 9 to 12 hours should be mouth to anus, right? So every 9 hours you should be like going to the bathroom. But the average Thanksgiving meal now takes 9 to 12 hours to come out. Like what most people do for 3 meals a day to get rid of, now Thanksgiving dinner takes a whole next day to come out. Like 12
and then
hours.
You're still eating on top of that because
that's right.
You're hungry because of all the carbs you ate later, so now you want to eat more.
Yeah. So those are our stats. Now, when we talk about eating for Thanksgiving, we want to kind of talk about what our goals are and some tips about it. So just to get a general idea. So there's like, we don't want to be hard and fast saying you have to eat these foods or these foods if you're going to be successful. Because really, Thanksgiving by itself should just be healthy. All we did was take healthy food and make it horrible, and made us get all tired. When I was a kid, we ate Thanksgiving, and then we went outside and played football all day.
Yeah.
Like, we were just full of energy. And then now, like say 10 years ago, when I'd go to the family holiday thing, you would eat and everybody would just lay around and just be like dying. So Cassie has some tips. This is what she does as a job, is just tips and helping. So it's really good. All right, go ahead.
All right, so my first tip would be to set an intention on how you want to feel. Because we were talking about how bad we feel after we eat, but what if we are telling ourselves that you want to feel good after you eat so you have more energy? And maybe your intention is also about, you want this to be more about family and gratitude, which is what we try to make Thanksgiving about.
Yeah.
Versus eating, seeing how much you could eat in one sitting and feeling miserable. So I would say try to set an intention for that day, and do not skip meals just to gorge on the one meal.
Yes, that'll hurt really badly.
Yes, it slows down your metabolism, and it's just not good. We think we're cramming all our calories into what?
Right, so you'd be like, well, if I'm going to eat a pound of food, or if I'm going to gain a pound, then I'll just like fast before that and really amp up.
Right.
But
so
yeah,
I can load up on that.
It's actually going to lower your metabolism, which then makes you gain more weight from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if your goal is to get really big, then that's it. Then it's a win-win.
True.
But I like your idea of intention, because most people don't really, food is family, holidays, emotions, but we tend to make food just pleasure. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, if your goal is just, I want to eat everything and be in total pleasure and then feel like crap, well, I don't like feeling that way. So like the idea of like really, I like that, is setting that idea of like, how do I want to feel in 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours after I eat? How do I want to feel as a mom? How do I want to like, demonstrate how to eat healthy for Thanksgiving for my kids, So yeah, that's an interesting thing of saying, how do I want to feel? I had a patient, I told you about this, there was 4 of them, they went out to eat, and they all know this stuff, but only one of them was just like, no, I'm not going to eat this stuff, I'm going to stick to what I'm doing, because I feel better. And so then the other 3 were just like, come on, man, it's just lunch, right? And then they all get done eating, and he's the only one that's awake and like feeling good. And the rest of them are just kind of slumped over and just talking, and just they feel heavy and lethargic and like they gotta take a nap. And he's like, is it worth it? Like, you guys, you don't look good or feel good,
right?
So yeah, that idea of like really sticking to your guns and saying, no, I'm gonna feel good this year.
Well, and feeling that way a lot of times too makes you moody.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exhausted, and then you're angry because your kid comes and asks you a question and you don't really want to deal with it, and so maybe.
Oh, so you have kids?
Yes. Yes, I know how that feels.
Yeah.
But maybe trying to not set more of a better example of not feeling that way.
Yeah. Do you do that with your clients when they come in?
Mm-hmm.
And like figuring out, kind of working with them? Do you do the goal stuff with them too, or the intentions?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a wheel of life.
Wheel of life.
The wheel of life.
Do you have a wheel of death too?
No.
You're out.
We don't want that one. No, but it covers all your areas, because you could eat as healthy as you possibly can. Eat all the right things and have the best figure, but still be unhappy. Still be moody, still be depressed, still be...
Yes.
Because there's something out of balance in your life, whether it's your career, your relationships, or things. So we try to target those also. Plus, those types of things could be causing you to eat bad, because
That's right.
Food is emotion.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I like that. You have more tips?
I do. So
Just like Christmas.
It's like Christmas. So we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but being aware of food sensitivities. So
Yes.
you may not be allergic to it and have to use an EpiPen or go to the hospital, but it does still irritate your body or something. So it's not a day to just say, oh, I'm going to give up on that today because I'm going to eat
Like
this.
cheating.
Yes, cheating.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Is there's probably some things that people can fudge on a little bit, maybe like fruits and vegetables that they might be a little bit sensitive to, but the wheat and dairy stuff is really like changing. Like it's neurochemical changing for the brain. And people that eat like wheat and they're just like, well, I'll just eat some, pie with crust, or I'll just eat some bread just this one time since it's Thanksgiving. So it's just, it's okay. But then they're just like doped out or bloated. Like bloated is the worst, right? You're trying to look good in front of your friends and family, and then you're just like, can't even hold it together.
Santa is coming.
All right, Shelly says, we love the Wheel of Life.
Oh, yes.
And Gina says Santa is coming. Yeah. Do you know that Silent Night, Deadly Night, they banned it across the U.S. because the idea of Santa killing people?
Well, yeah, that's terrible. Okay. So some other tips is drink a glass of water before your meals,
That's always good.
or have a soup or salad before.
A super salad.
A soup or salad. Soup or salad.
Why don't they say salad or soup? I love super salad.
Chew slowly because, we have to communicate from the stomach to the brain, and sometimes that takes a while. So if we're chewing more slowly and eating slowly, engaging in conversation, then we'll realize we're full before we've overate.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 66 hormones that are at play when we're eating. So even when you look at the food, those hormones and neuropeptides start changing in anticipation of the food.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. And so, it's funny is like the idea of like some people are just like shoveling the food, but really just kind of putting your utensils down each time.
Mm-hmm.
So you cut your little thing, eat your food, put your utensils down, try to talk or listen, engage, and then pick up your stuff and eat again. And so while everybody else might be like eating seconds and thirds, you're still on your first.
Right.
Because you took your time, and so then you don't have to let obligation of, everybody's still talking, so I'll get some more mashed potatoes, I'll get some more of this, and then you end up overeating. It takes 45 minutes of a delay from I'm not hungry anymore to where I'm stuffed.
Right.
And so there's a big opening there to overeat, and one of the ways that you prevent that is the socialization part, the talking, and that's where like red wine would be really good, or green tea, to where you can kind of sip on stuff that's actually medicine without over consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And keep drinking lots of water.
Yes.
Because then you're just like, oh, now I'm stuffed on water, now I'm not going to gain my pound. And then you're a loser, right?
Loser.
Literally a loser. Or not a gainer.
Yes.
Alright. Any more?
No.
So you said it's good to kind of talk with people, and I thought of some ideas of things to talk about.
Okay, let's hear those.
Some really good conversation starters are about politics. Religion's a really good topic for your family. That really, goes well, since we give thanks to God. We should really talk about religion. And then abortion's always a good topic. That's what goes over really well.
Maybe we should see what kind of topics they have.
What about past childhood traumas? You remember when you used to spank me? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah? Those?
Probably not.
Well, this is why I don't get invited to the Thanksgivings anymore. All right, so probably better topics. Yeah, Nathan knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Talking about other family members that aren't there. How about that?
That happens, right? Anyways.
I like that. Glad Susan didn't come, because Susan always has the flu and she's always getting people sick. And she. All right, no, okay.
No.
All right, we'll settle down. So, let's talk about food. We should talk about food. All right.
Yes.
Food is mood. So let's make some people unhappy and grumpy, or super happy. I'm telling you, like, Thanksgiving should be super healthy. Like, I go to Yaya's with the girls for our Thanksgiving, and they have wonderfully healthy stuff, and they have wonderfully not healthy stuff. I'm kind of suspecting my girls like to eat the non-healthy stuff, which is why they love going. But every time, like, I can eat really super healthy things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like Doc Green's mentality of, like, as healthy as you want to be.
Right.
So Thanksgiving should be healthy. But we're Americans, so we like to mess it up.
Yes.
So let's talk about some healthy substitutes. Is fat bad? Should I be fat-free, dressing in fat-free meat, and what about that? Should I be really, like, fat-free?
No. The right fat
Well,
is
that's
good.
not what I heard on TV and the
I
internet.
know.
All right, so tell me about fat. What?
We actually need
Did you just
fat.
call me fat? Does this shirt make me look fat, or is it my belly? All right, go ahead. So tell us about fat.
We actually need fat. That actually helps us burn calories and boost our metabolism, but it has to be the right fat, like avocados and chia seeds and
Yeah.
the fun stuff that the green stuff, the
Yeah.
avocados
And nuts and seeds.
yes.
Yeah. And there's actually some fruits or fats, like healthy fats in meat, if it's free range, wild caught, grass fed, grass finished. So that'll be a healthy omega-3 fat. So omega-3s are the anti-inflammatory. So, like, you can actually eat anti-inflammatory and with lots of fats and feel better, because vitamin D is fat, testosterone's fat, progesterone's fat, anti-aging hormones fat. So you need this fat to make wonderful things. They actually make the things that block pain, certain prostaglandins, are made of fat.
Right.
And so the countries that eat the most fat, like Japan, actually are the skinniest ones.
Right.
But the countries that eat the most sugar, America, is the fattest country. And there's Newman. Newman, you missed all my good talks. Newman is Native American. I did Sweat Lodge with him.
Oh.
Yeah. So we did Indian Sweat Lodge. Or no, Native American Sweat Lodge. Yeah. But Newman, there was 90 Native Americans and only 50 pilgrims at the first Thanksgiving. So, in my opinion, you should have slaughtered us then. Because we kind of did a bad thing. We should have... Thanksgiving should be called... Or no, that'd be Columbus Day. Because we call it Indigenous People Day. But it should be like, we're really sorry. We did a bad thing day. That's what I think. All right. So...
Back to fats.
Oh, back to topic. Okay, fats.
What are bad fats?
Bad fats are my cousins. No, that's not true. Inflammatory fats. So we can actually eat omega-6 rich fats that actually cause more inflammation. Corn's a big one for that. So corn-fed animals, but also corn is a product, and even corn sugar that's derived from corn probably too there. And that's pretty much it, right? Trans fats.
Canola
So never
oil.
microwave. Yeah, canola. The European Union frowns on canola because it's relation to heart disease. Yeah. So healthy fats, real fats, and real food, but trans fats, really high temperature cooking, microwaving, genetically modified canola, vegetable oil, corn oil, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So you can eat lots of fat, just eat healthy fat so you feel better. And then fat actually satiates you faster too. So you feel up a little bit fuller if you take time. What about carbs? I heard on the internet and from my cousin that carbs make us fat and they're unhealthy. Is that true?
Some of them.
Some. What are the bad carbs?
What are the bad carbs? The breads and the cookies and the pies and...
Can we replace So the processed ones,
Mm-hmm.
can we replace the processed ones and still eat our treats and not notice much difference?
Well, I think you notice difference.
So with cassava, I didn't. Like cassava flour?
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't mess with your blood sugar?
Oh, you mean for taste?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You would not notice. I think it's not a big difference in taste.
Yeah, I don't notice anything with like brown rice flour,
No.
you know. But tapioca flour would be sugar, so that's not a
Mhm.
good one. But, so with carbs, it's mainly whole grain. So don't do white rice, do wild rice, brown rice, black rice, red rice, purple rice, forbidden rice, even brown basmati rice,
Mm-hmm.
long grain rice.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of whole grains are quinoa.
Quinoa.
And quinoa, a handful of quinoa, if you eat with your hands, like a Texan, a real American, that's 60% of your daily protein. Just that one handful of quinoa.
Mm-hmm.
So you toss it across the table, you say, here's your protein, like that, when they start talking about politics. Okay, so there are healthy carbs. So a lot of times people say, well, I'm carb free or they count carbs, but really it's just nonsense. Just eat real, actual, whole grain, real stuff. And then what about sugar substitutes? Sugar's bad, right? We know
Yes.
that. Sugar's bad.
I know.
We agree.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So then I should just use like formaldehyde as sugar, like sucralose and aspartame and Equal and all those. What could go wrong with eating gasoline?
Or embalming yourself.
I feel like you're anti-formaldehyde.
Yes,
Why
a
are
little
you
bit.
anti-formaldehyde? It preserves frogs and dead people. It has
Right?
to be good for us.
It'll preserve your insides so you don't age, right?
That's Well, you know what's funny is, I hate to go off topic, but the CSI people during Vietnam, they found that when they would look at the different battles, they would sit there and do all these little, like test the liver and stuff to figure out how decayed people are. So when did this battle happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they found was the Vietnamese were actually decomposing at a normal rate, but the American GIs were not decomposing. And they said it's because of all the formaldehyde in all the processed foods and diet stuff that they're feeding the troops. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. And scary.
Yeah, so we died and left a good-looking corpse.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's better. Post-Thanksgiving corpse.
Would
So
it be healthy to fast 2 days before Turkey Day and indulging with the family?
so she already told us. This is Newman's. I feel like Newman's planning on doing this.
It sounds like it.
So she said no. So it lower your basal metabolic rate, and then those 4,500 calories will actually then make you gain way more weight, Newman. And then you'll have to move to like Michigan, where you're thinner. Or Ohio. Is that bad? I don't know.
It's terrible.
All right. I'm from Kansas. I can't say anything. Okay, so what about gluten-free turkey? So this is a funny thing. Like, I went to the health food store, and I saw that they had gluten-free turkeys, and I was just like, well, this is just stupid. There is no gluten in turkey, idiots. I thought it was just a scam to get people to pay more for turkey because there's no gluten in turkey. But apparently there is. So they grow turkeys faster in these giant feedlots for turkeys, and then they grow so big so fast that their meat actually gets really tough, so they just inject them. 'Cause we're not going to stop that. That's profitable. So what if we just inject the turkey breast with gluten, which is like 97% of all people's problems from the start. So then people have these post-bread highs and crashes, and they didn't even eat bread. They just ate some turkey. Let alone glued together meat, like if you get a glued together ham, they use tissue transglutaminase to glue that meat together, and so it looks like one solid piece of meat, but it's not. And so that tissue transglutaminase is what messes up celiac patients and gluten sensitivity people. So again, it's just like eating bread, and then people have these mental and abdominal problems, and they don't even realize why.
Right.
They feel like, well, I'm just going to eat a bunch of meat and be paleo and be healthy, but they're eating glued meat from pig's blood. They use pig's blood. That's good. So, you know how you use the pig's blood to glue the chicken together, right? It's got to be okay. So, probably gluten-free turkeys.
Yes.
And I assume your free-range ones would probably be naturally gluten-free. Newman says he smoked a turkey. Now, I have smoked tobacco before, but I've never filled that cigar with turkey meat. Do you just put it in the pipe? And is this a Native American thing? So, it's the Wichita tribe thing. He's not that, though. Could be a Texas thing. Texans deep fry their turkeys.
Oh, because that's much better.
That's right. How can we make the turkey even more unhealthy? Let's deep fry it. Let's inject it with gluten and deep fry it. Oh, holy crap. I got the best idea. Why don't they bread the turkeys?
Oh, why haven't they thought of that?
They could put batter over it, dip the turkey in batter, fill it with batter, which is stuffing anyways, and then deep fry the battered. We're going to make money off this. Battered, deep fried chicken.
With cheese.
Holy shit! We can stuff cheese inside of it. We could fill the turkey with Velveeta.
No.
Then batter it. And then deep fry it.
Okay.
All right,
let's
no.
go.
No, I think we should just stop here. I think we got it. We're gonna. I feel like we're gonna have the best Thanksgiving now ever. Deep fried cheesy turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's good. I think we're solved. I think we're good, people. Which, by the way, we'll be posting these recipes too.
Not the deep fried turkey.
No, we got to
Bread it.
patent that first. Forget you guys ever heard of that. Extant. I came out with coffee kombucha, and now it's everywhere. Bullcrap. So, what about? Okay, so turkey. We want free range if possible, so it is expensive as hell. Do your best. If you're going to eat inflammatory turkey, then eat lots of anti-inflammatory dishes, right? The other thing is, I do meditation with the Retreat to Joy at the Domes at the Ridden Clinic, and they have a bunch of turkeys running around there. So, there might be free turkeys.
Or you could just buy a local with one of the farmers.
Yeah. All right. If push comes to shove, Reardon Clinic.
Or that.
Probably bag of deer out there too. So you just got to drive really fast. Just accidentally hit the turkey and take it home. That's right. Free deer and free turkeys. And what about ham? What do you think about ham? Now, do you guys eat ham for Thanksgiving?
No.
No? Some people do. Do you guys eat ham for Thanksgiving? I always thought like the spiral honey glazed ham was just like the, oh my gosh, it was like, oh, we're really living now, right? And I'd get it from Boston Market when those were around. Holy crap, I thought, I've really made it in life, you know? They're like, this is what rich people do, is they eat honey baked ham, spiral cut already.
Yep.
That was living, and then now I wouldn't do it.
No.
So, why not?
It's
Because you
has
hate
a lot
pigs?
of
You're a pig
salt.
hater?
No.
Oh, okay. So it has a lot of salt to cure it.
Nitrates,
Which are cancer-causing chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
Which the World Health Organization says that American processed meat is more likely to cause cancer than smoking cigarettes. So that's why I'm a vegan and smoke now. So I'll be healthier. Mostly vegan. Mostly vegan. So, yeah.
And
So nitrates, lots of salt. But you can get Applewood sellers, like if you want to add bacon to dishes, they do at like even Target have free range pigs. And so free range pigs are fine. Those should be fine. Uncured, free range.
Right.
Otherwise, you have to cook. The reason you have to cook pork all the way done is because it's full of parasites. Because they're in like these little tiny cages, and then they basically just poop and pee through the grates, and then they end up with all these parasites. And then we have to cook the meat so we can have cheap ass ham. So So there's that. Okay, so what about vegan? Should we be vegan?
Sure.
Sure. Vegan. Damn it.
It's your coffee.
It's got to be the white.
Sure.
All right. So vegan, you can. That's really good because my daughter, she's vegan, or two of my daughters are vegetarians. They're really pescatarians, but she tells me that she's vegetarian like 20 times a day. My 10-year-old. So I think it's hilarious because someone put a little thing on Facebook and it's a little post-it and it said, "Times my coworker has told me she's a vegan," and it just says XXXX, and then it's like many times. How many times have I asked about her being vegan? And there's no checks at all. Like, it's just so funny. So the best reason to be vegan is so you can look down on others and talk about how better you are, right? That's why I became vegan-ish.
Vegan-ish.
So we have a couple options with vegan is, one, don't invite them. Two, just tell them the turkey's tofurkey, right? Or three, if you're vegan, just eat the sides.
Yeah.
So as long as you, like, don't put a bunch of bacon in your stuff, right? That's ham anyways, a bunch of nitrates, and you might as well put tobacco in there. So just flavor with herbs, not bacon. Or have bacon on the side for the family that wants to eat bacon, and the green beans and stuff. So that's fine. Let them do their thing. But allow for vegan options with that.
Yeah.
So especially if instead of using butter, which is some vegans do, vegetarians usually are okay with that, but vegans not. But you might use olive oil instead, or Barlean's butter, or Earth Balance, which I love. So there's those options for that too. So when we look at substituting, you can make vegan options for everybody. And what I always like to say is basically cook vegetarian and vegan and then add meat if you want.
Yes.
And so that way it's fine. So you might even make stuffing on the side that's gluten-free, so it's not in the meat, so then it's vegan too.
Well,
so.
that's a good point. Like on our plates, because your plates are so big too, so you should have more veggies and more of the sides and then less of the meat.
That's right. So let's talk about some really good dishes. So we'll have our turkey. We can get gluten-free turkey if we want. I want you guys to post your favorite recipes, even if they're unhealthy. What tweaks could we make to them to make them healthier? So usually, like if it says flour, we can do gluten-free flour. We do cassava flour. If it says butter, then we just use dairy.
Earth Balance.
Grass-fed dairy.
Grass-fed.
If you want. Or just do your Earth Balance and olive oil. So you can substitute pretty easily for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to recipes, really there should be some very good staples so that you have a handful of things that you can eat that's super healthy and you'll feel great with it. And then you might have a few other things that are kind of tinkered with that are more like maybe modern American kind of stuff. But that way, people can eat that and still be healthy and happy, and people can be energetic, and that way you can talk about politics for a long time at the table. Okay. All right. So you came up with some. Do you want to talk about them? She's the foodie. She's the one that helps the clients with all their menus and stuff and shopping, right?
Right.
So you even you help them figure out what kind of meals they would want, and then it comes with a shopping list and everything.
And a meal plan if you want to use that. So all you have to do is shop and cook. It's all
and
laid out.
Consultations are only like $200. Is that right? Oh no, they're free.
Yes, they're
All
free.
Right. So, tell us about some of food ideas you would have for helping with Thanksgiving.
Okay, so the first one I had in replacement of potatoes for mashed potatoes would be cauliflower mashed potatoes. I've made those for my kids and they really like them. You can put seasoning in there too to make them taste better. But
I always like parsley, garlic, and onion powder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do that?
Or basil.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. So those are good for replacements for potatoes.
And with mashed potatoes, like your red potatoes are lower glycemic. So if you did, instead of the russet ones, or you might make two potato dishes where you make one for you and people that want to eat healthy, and then you make your russet ones that are the golden, like even the French fingerling potatoes, those are actually some of the most nutritious ones that you can get at the grocery store. And they'll make normal mashed potatoes, but they'll be actually healthier for you. So I started making all mine out of red potatoes because it's lower glycemic, it's more nutrient dense. But purple potatoes, you can make purple mashed potatoes, and they'll taste fabulous.
What about leaving the skins on?
Hell yeah, skins where all the nutrition is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you might like you can get a little bit boastful and get some organic potatoes. That way, there's no stuff on there. But yeah.
Yep.
All right, what else we got?
Okay.
What about stuffing?
Stuffing. We have a couple of different
stuffing can be super healthy or super bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So the regular stuffing you would do is made out of bread and carbs and...
Yeah, just refined wheat. It actually has bromine in there, which messes with your thyroid. The chlorine messes with your thyroid. There's probably fluoridated water in there. So your average stuffing should make you dumb, fat, and sick because it messes with your thyroid. So you can have thyroid messing with bread, or you can have non-thyroid messing with stuffing. So what would be the non-thyroid messing with?
Grain-free stuffing. And it's made from more vegetables and lots of spices to make it taste good. So sweet potatoes and turnips, mushrooms, celery, and lots of good spices. Yeah,
and so, and you're going to post some of these?
Yes.
Okay, so she'll post some of these too, so that way we don't have to list out everything.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. All right, so Brianna says one of her sons is a vegetarian. She just adjusts the recipes, and then yeah. So that's good. So it's good to have multiple sides that are gluten free. And we even when we have little parties, we'll put little those little tiny chalkboards that you can get.
Yeah.
And so we'll write gluten free or vegetarian, dairy free, so that way people know what they can have and what they can't have.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, if you care about your family, it's...
That's the right thing to do, right?
All right, what else?
And then there's wild rice pecan stuffing.
Yeah, now that's amazing too. And the only substitution, so I'll post those links for that. And the only substitution, of course, it says butter. So if you really want to do butter and you don't listen to me, then get grass-fed butter, right? So a little bit of the estrogen for a little meal here and there probably isn't going to be the biggest problem. So if you get a little bit of butter, get the grass-fed, which is funny because my daughter made me get a little bit of grass-fed butter, so just once in a while she could have some grass-fed butter. But because we don't eat it hardly at all, it molded. And my whole entire life, I've never seen butter mold. Ever. Ever. I mean, you keep it on the table in the little thing as a kid, and it just lasts forever.
Yeah.
And this butter molded, which means it's real. And that was that Irish butter. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's the Irish, I don't know, it's Kelly's or I don't know. It's grass-fed butter. These people know. They know what I'm talking about. Kelly's? I don't know. All right. So that's the only substitute with that. But otherwise, that wild rice, or if you use black rice or red rice, man, it has a nutty flavor to it. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. And then you have one of my favorites that I cook and that I love to eat cold, which is roasted vegetables. And you can't go wrong. There's a recipe here, but really it's just chop up a bunch of vegetables that you like and a few that you might not even think about, because like even Brussels sprouts are really great with this, or peppers, red peppers, bell peppers, mince and garlic and put it on there, olive oil. Like it's really simple. It's just like I just chop up vegetables, put it in a big thing, and put olive oil and a little bit of sea salt, and then I just kind of mix it up and I put it on non-wax parchment paper on my cooking pan, or if you have like a stone pan, that's the best. You have that? I gotta. Santa's gonna be very generous this year. I feel like I need to get that stone pan. If you guys are a pampered chef person, let me know. Stone pan. That's where we got our old one. And then it's just like 45 minutes at 450 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the most simple thing ever to make those. Same thing with chickpeas. We don't have this on there, but
Chickpeas are good.
if you take like a few cans of chickpeas,
Mm-hmm.
or you could soak them, and then you just mix them with olive oil and some spices. So you can, like a Japanese 7 spice or a peri peri or anything that you like. You can mix those together, and then just same thing, parchment paper that's non-waxed in your stone pan, and then you just 45 minutes, and then you shut off the oven, and like you take your vegetables out, but leave the chickpeas in there until the oven cools down. Is that how you make them?
Yeah, they're good.
Simple, super simple, and it's dual purpose, so you can make 2 things at once, which is awesome. And then I eat all those chickpeas. I can make 3 cans worth, and I'll eat them that night. Like I make a little Cajun mix. So freaking good, and they're crunchy. So, all right. And what about cranberry quinoa salad?
Yes. So here's one of your anti-inflammatory foods.
Yes, and high protein for those who are concerned about protein.
Or for
Just
your
shut up.
vegan.
Vegan, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is a good one. Yeah.
So quinoa, if you guys haven't had that, it's kind of like, well, it looks like little tiny rice, and it has get the red or the black. There's 1,800 varieties, but really we only do one in America, and that's usually white. But you can get the red or black. Always get the darker things. Always eat the rainbow when you're making your Thanksgiving dinner. Make the rainbow of different colors. So.
And make sure you soak the quinoa before you.
Yeah. And at Sam's Club they have pre-washed quinoa that's white, red, and black, and it's the cheapest, I think. Probably Costco is the same with that. So that's pretty good because it's actually cheaper in the health food store, and it's pre-washed.
Yes.
Yeah, because some people complain it's bitter, but that they usually don't wash it or soak it.
Right. Yeah.
Good. And so that recipe will be on there, and that's really good too because you have the cranberries, which then allow you to have a little sweetness. You have a lot of antioxidants in there, great flavor, plus the quinoa. And then, of course, you can't have Thanksgiving at my house without the brown gravy. But how the hell do you make brown gravy without butter and flour and a bunch of wheat, right?
Yes.
So, you just substitute those things.
Right.
It works perfect. Do any of you guys ever eat white gravy with your Thanksgiving meal? Do you guys ever do that?
I don't.
Like
Brown.
Just brown, yeah.
Just
It's always brown. Like you take the grease and the oil and the
Stuff
parts.
in the turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. The broth.
The broth.
The broth.
Yeah. And then like the recipe that I'm gonna post, it'll have where you take the chicken heart and the gizzards and the kidneys and the I don't know, whatever that's in that bag, and you like put that in your gravy. So you puree it up. If you don't like that, just don't do it. Don't add that.
Right.
But it is good to eat organs because everything you need for your gizzard is in that gizzard. So, I don't even know what a gizzard is.
Oh my.
Some kind of digestion thing. It's got to be healthy.
Really?
That's a chicken thing. Like I think only birds have gizzards.
Only birds, yes.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to add to the, it's not gravy, but a good thing to do if you are making a turkey, to keep the bones and all the things that you don't use and make bone broth, because and then you can freeze it for later, so if you ever get sick or anything like that, you'll have really good bone
All right,
broth.
you get a high five for that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because you paid all this money for this stupid chicken or turkey or meat. Yeah, when you're done taking all the meat off that you want, just break it all up and put it in the crock pot for 24 hours or 48 hours, and then strain it all off, and then you have like amazing nutrient dense broth.
Yes.
So, which is good because again, think about this: you eat all this food, even if you're trying to eat healthy, you'll probably overeat some. So then you can use that broth to basically detox for the next few days.
Yep.
And just eat soup-based stuff.
Yep. Just sip on it.
See,
Good.
solved all your problems already. You're welcome. Okay, so then there a few things too is when it says like some of these things that say canola, just do olive oil or avocado oil. Coconut oil's okay.
If you want the coconut taste.
Yeah. I love my food to taste like copper tone suntan lotion when I was a kid. And then with vegetable stock or any kind of stock, if you want vegetarian, then just use a vegetable stock instead of a chicken stock or a turkey stock or beef stock. And then try to get organic ones, which I think they cost almost the same amount, so it's not that big of a deal. And you can buy them pre-made and use those. And then also for your soups and stuff, like Pacifica brand has like a tomato basil with no dairy. Like, it's incredible. They have several different like butternut squash soups and stuff.
Yes. That
then you look like you're the Mac making all this fancy stuff, but all you did is pour out the Pacifica, but it tastes amazing. I know one of the evening Thanksgiving dinner we're going to, I know that's what she's going to do, and she's going to act like she made it, but she didn't make it. We're going to have a fancy dinner. It's Pacifica. I know it's Pacifica. So, what about desserts? So who cares? Nobody cares about the turkey. What do they really want?
Dessert.
All right, so what is the quintessential dessert for Thanksgiving?
The essential dessert is pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie, right? So, can you have healthy pumpkin pie, and can you even have healthy whipped cream for your pumpkin pie? So, the other day, I went over to my friend's house, and they have been tinkering with making desserts for Thanksgiving that are basically not sugar, not wheat, not dairy, but basically ones that wouldn't mess up her mom's blood sugar. And so they had a pumpkin pie that was no wheat, no dairy. And it was freaking phenomenal. So I posted that on Facebook, and then everybody asked me for the recipe. I'm like, well, I didn't make it. So she finally sent me the recipe, so I will post that recipe.
Great.
And then she also made peanut butter cookies with cassava flour. And cassava is a root, kind of like konjac root. So if you make konjac noodles for like a kind of a ramen noodle-esque kind of dish, or stir fry, it's root. It's konjac root. It doesn't mess with your blood sugar, and it doesn't have a glycemic load. Same with cassava flour. It doesn't mess with blood sugar. So it's a great one. And so they made peanut butter cookies with cassava flour, and they were to die for. So they only had one left. Bunch of bull crap.
So you
one
mean
piece of pie.
Just because we're trying to eat healthy doesn't mean we can't have dessert.
That's right. You can still be a player and not a hater. Just eat real healthy foods. That tastes awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't have to. You can still eat crap. That's healthy. Right?
That doesn't make any sense.
You can still eat things that appear to be crap, but is healthy. And that means you can trick your kids.
There you go.
You'd be like, oh, y'all can eat all the pie you want because they're getting pumpkin, which is a hormone booster, right? Without the wheat, you get only hormone boosting with no downside to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'll post the gluten-free pie crust and the gluten-free pumpkin pie. And then the the whipped cream. How to make whipped cream without dairy. And you have that. But I posted, I put it here.
Yeah.
But you have
almond
it on
milk.
your one that you're posting. It'll have this and the pumpkin pie
It will show
recipe.
you how to make the. Yes.
But basically, it's almond milk or a coconut milk, so you know that thick stuff that you'd make like curry with. Thai kitchen, yeah. Vanilla, so real vanilla, not artificial vanilla that's made from petroleum. And then powdered coconut sugar. So it's not healthy, but it's a healthier sugar. So at least you're going to be like the healthiest person with diabetes, right? You're going to lose your organic toes, so it's all right. But no, it's just for Thanksgiving again. If that's the worst thing you did was eat a little bit too much sugar in a super healthy pumpkin pie, that's not the worst thing.
Right.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
And then you have pumpkin bars, no bake.
No bake pumpkin bars.
Anybody could do that? No bacon?
Yeah.
Oh, no bacon. No bacon, no bake. Pumpkin bars. And there was nothing bad or anything that really needs to be replaced. They were super healthy. Pumpkin's super healthy, you guys. There's also power balls. I think they're called something else.
Or the protein balls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be like peanut butter and cacao. So it'll be the chocolate peanut butter, and they'll have other stuff in there, nuts and seeds, and they're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We made those for hiking, and oh my gosh, I just want to eat them all. But those are actually healthy things there. And then Cranberry Delight is what I call it. Dr. G's Cranberry Delight, which I stole from someone else. I'm not going to say who. But this is so simple. I've been eating this all week because, on Sundays I make my martini and play my record, make my 3 big dishes, and I eat those all week. So all week I've been eating, I bought a bag of cranberries, like real cranberries, and I put those in my blender, and then I put it should be 1 big orange, but I put a bunch of cuties because I have cuties, and then peel and all, so you want that tartness from the peel. And then I put in, I think, a whole bag of walnuts, which is probably too much, but I just do whatever the hell I want. I'm fine with me eating it. And then I mix those. So I mixed the first 2 things together, the cranberries, and then I pureed the orange, and so that makes this cranberry orange mix, which tastes delicious. And then I put that down, and then I pureed the nuts, and then I put the nuts on top, and then you eat it. Oh my God! All week I ate that.
Sounds good.
It was so good, and so it tastes amazing, and it's super healthy.
Right.
There's nothing bad in there.
And filling.
Oh yeah.
I think people sometimes think that those things aren't filling. We need to eat large amounts to make us full, but it's really the nutrients in the food that make us full.
Yeah. We really want to count. You want to eat nutrient-dense, low-glycemic, which is fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, berries, legumes, and greens. And if you really want to lose weight during Thanksgiving, add a lot of romaine lettuce, because it's being recalled because of E. coli O157H7, which sure, it kills children, but it's cheap fertilizer, so it's worth it. More profitable lettuce, right? So if we feed the cows corn, we make this kid-killing bacteria, which is why we have to recall, because then we use the contaminated poo to fertilize the fields, and that's how you end up with these recalls. And we could solve this, but we're not going to. We'll just keep having all these crazy recalls. But if you eat that lettuce, you'll probably lose a lot of weight with dysentery.
Probably so.
Yeah. And it's great. People talking about detoxing. I want to clean my bowels out. That contaminated food will clean you out really fast. Are you supporting this idea?
No.
I feel like you're a soft no on this. Like,
I'm a hard no.
Damn it. Okay. So don't eat romaine lettuce
Yes.
for Thanksgiving, I guess. If you don't want food poisoning, gosh. All right.
No fun.
So Deb says no. Fun with food poisoning.
No.
It's kind of like your first knife fight, right?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of the show then. You guys are going to have an amazing Thanksgiving. The other thing you can do too is if you're one of those people and nobody supports anything that you're doing healthy, make your own damn plate, make your own food, take your plate to the dinner, and you eat healthy, and screw them. But you always have to make your plate. If you make healthy stuff and you take it to a party, you make your plate first. Because if you bring a really delicious, healthy thing, everybody's going to eat all your stuff, and then you're going to be stuck eating crap.
True.
So just like with the church potlucks, you make your plate first, then you bring the food for them. So that way if they eat all your good stuff, you still have your good stuff.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So you don't have to change the world. You don't have to change other people. You just can do healthy for you. Bring your own gluten-free roll that's made from coconut flour if you want, right? Just do what you want to do. Bring your own healthy butter. Bring your own ingredients that you want, and screw them, right? So, and if they get a little attitude, just talk some politics or religion. Get them all stirred up and then go home. That's what I do. And that's why I'm not invited back anymore. So, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
And we'll post a bunch of stuff and ask questions, so I know a lot of you guys watch the show offline. So feel free to still post the things that you love, your recipes, ask questions. We'll try to keep answering things as we go. Otherwise, you have Thanksgiving in a couple days, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. And, yeah. What are your closing thoughts?
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I really hope everybody does take some time off and really does enjoy their family and
yeah. I think the biggest thing I got out of this was what you said, which is, what are your intentions?
Right.
How do you want to feel? You want to feel great? You want to feel like crap? So you want to be the only one awake at Thanksgiving?
That might be kind of boring.
Until it comes to dish time, and you're like, whoa, I had too much. I had too much gluten-free. I gotta take a nap.
Yeah. Until
the dishes are done. And last year I cut my finger because I was doing all the dishes, and I do dishes really fast. I also do laundry and change diapers, right? And so, because I'm a man, and that's what men do. And so I was doing the dishes, and then I always put the knives to the side. You never put the knives in the bottom with all the silverware. And then I turned around and said something, and I went back and I shoved my hand in, and somebody had thrown a knife in there.
Oh.
And it cut through my finger. So if you guys remember those posts, it ended up, I couldn't get it shut. I didn't have my suture kit. I have my suture kit now. So I just sewed up this year if I had to. But I couldn't do all these things, and someone said to use cayenne pepper. And I finally used cayenne pepper, and it burned like hell, but it shut it down. Because I tried to super glue it, but it's too deep.
Oh, yeah.
And so I tried all these different things, nothing worked, and then finally cayenne pepper burned like hell, and then it was fine. So this time,
There's your tip.
This time when I accidentally cut my... We know Holly put it in there. We know Holly put the knife in there. So when she comes back on the show, you guys know she did it. She was at that Thanksgiving dinner, and I know she did it. She didn't admit it. She's the only one bringing dishes in from the table. I know it was her. And so next time I think I'd put clove oil in it because that'll numb it. Mm-hmm. And then I put the cayenne pepper. Then it shouldn't burn. I'm planning. Years of getting stitches in my hands, and now I'm learning. So thank you guys for joining. I love you guys. I appreciate this is your time. So any questions, comments, anything that you have, please let us know. Otherwise, it's great to see you guys, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And make sure to talk a lot of politics. So, bye guys. Bye y'all.